Hi, it's Professor Mary coming to you from the Computer Graphic Arts program here at Rowan College. So here we are in CGA 215, the course shell, and I'm going to go over to the drop boxes and we're going to talk about the project requirements for project number 1. Project number 1 is an informational graphic, and this year we've been asked by the Department of Institutional Research here at the college to create an information graphic about the demographics of our students. So I'm giving you some examples, or give you the definition of a information graphic. I also tell you that information graphic designers, first year out of average starting salary is about 48 grand, which is good. I also have given you a bunch of links in Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place to find examples and inspiration for informational graphics. And then I've also given you resources that you can link to with this. Now, let's go in and look at the project requirements. So this is going to be an 8.5 by 11 size document, or letter size. And it's going to be, you can either make it landscape or portrait. And it's going to be specifically for print. However, we might use it also for web. So when you go into Illustrator, make sure you select the print, so you're in CMYK mode as opposed to RGB mode. You will print and mount the file. In addition, this is a real client, so the client will come in and give us the information. You will have an opportunity to talk to the client and ask questions regarding the project, and then several weeks later the client will come back and you will present your designs to the client, and the final winning project or the final project selected to be used by the Institutional Research Department will receive a small monetary prize. So I'm going to go into project 1. And you'll see that, again, it's listed here. You're going to actually do 3 different designs for this project. So if you have any questions, let me know. If not, we'll see you in class. So let's go ahead and look at the details of project 1. And I specifically want to point out that right here under where it says possible points, which is 150 points, I want you to click on the rubric area so that you can see the detailed rubric that I'll be using. And this is how I'm going to be grading. So this is 150 points. And all the categories that I'm going to use for the project grading are right here. And then also you'll notice that there's excellent, good, fair, and poor. So let's say, for example, you do a really good job selecting colors, and all the colors are complementary, and you know how to apply the same color for all the different elements, then you would get maybe a 10 out of 10. If you really haphazardly select colors and none of the colors match, or they're not complementary, or they're not appropriate, you might get a 0 or 1. Now in these grading scale, you can get the full point, or you can get some points between. So let's say you do an okay job on the color, you might get a 9 or an 8 or a 6, and maybe you might get a 4 or a 2. So the rubric for this project is not always all 20 points. It could be something between 20 and 10. So if you have any questions about the rubric, go ahead and let me know. You can email me, text me, or speak to me before or after class. So I want to show you some poor examples of the information graphic project that we did last year. Last year we were asked to do a placemat for the Department of Consumer Affairs for Gloucester County for about consumer scams for seniors. They were the client last year, and so here's a bad example. I mean, the text is off. The text, is not centered correctly. It's not even centered on the line. The colors are awful. There's spelling mistakes. There's hyphenated words where they shouldn't be hyphenated. So this is just very bad. This one, again, you know, I would say a 5th grader could have done this one. Spelling mistakes, you know, stuff all over the place. The stars aren't even the same size. You know, this text is centered, this text isn't, this text is centered, just very poor. Close that. This one, I mean, there's stuff on top of the type. It makes it hard to read. I don't even know what these objects are. It's, you know, I don't know what this person, it looks like an alien person, so it's just, you know, terrible. Look at the X, can't see it. Let me show you another one. Let me just zoom this one back out a little bit. So, you know, again, the type is terrible. The graphics are terrible. I'm not sure, you know, watch out for crooks, don't get hooked, you know, but this is a phishing. I don't really understand that. All the type boxes are different sizes. The type, in terms of width, they're different sizes height-wise. They're different sizes width-wise. There's no consistency. This one is getting a little bit better. It's a little bit nicer laid out, but there are spelling mistakes in here, and you cannot have spelling mistakes when you give a client a file. This one, totally, it's a nice design, especially if we zoom in a little bit. You know, and the people are nice, the type is nice, but it's supposed to be a 11 by 17 landscape project, and this is clearly more of a poster size. The other problem is that, you know, if I was just to grade this on contrast, the contrast is awful. Also, there's no, you know, indentation for the second lines. It's just not very good. This one, again, is just plain out awful. It's like the certificate background or certificate border, just it's awful. The type is hard to read. There's no alignment. You know, they indented the first line, but there's no alignment in the second line. Everything's just kind of haphazard. These things aren't the same size. The boxes, the red boxes here are not the same size, so that's not good at all. And last, this is just kind of grid system crazy. And if you actually zoom in and look at these lines, oops, zoom in there, and so the lines don't even match up. They're crooked. And they don't even match up here. All these columns are different sizes. So these are the examples of poor projects. I would say that these students really just threw these projects together, did not take time researching what information graphics are supposed to be, and really didn't make the effort to submit some good designs. All of these projects were scored at C- or below. So in this video, I would categorize these as good projects because, you know, they were a little bit better. So here's a good example of the layout. I'm trying to get it to fit in the window. So here's a good example of the layout. You know, they did the boxes to set it off. But then the problem that I would have with this is that they didn't pick up any color from the phone. So instead of using this purple, maybe they should have used one of these maroon red colors from here. The other thing, when you go down to the other page, the colors really don't match the seal. This is a red color in the seal and a red color in the crest. Maybe you should have taken the red either from the phone or from the crest, and instead of doing purple, you could have done red. This one's a little bit better. The thing that I liked about this one is that we were doing a placemat for elderly people, older people, very large type, easy to read, little bullet points, not a lot of type in this, some basic information. The graphics are kind of hokey. I would have liked to see better quality graphics, but in terms of type, it's really, I think, pretty good. Now, I would say this one is probably an excellent one. You know, excellent graphics, excellent color throughout, huge type, bullet points, as to the information. So this is an excellent project. Here's another one that was good. Again, the columns of information, the bullet points, it gives you the categories of them. Now, this is where Professor Mary's going to be a little bit picky. Are these all headlines the same size? This one I don't think is the same size. I think this is a little bit larger. Maybe this is 14 points and this is 12 points. So I'm going to be picky about that. Also, all of a sudden they got some random new type in here. It doesn't match. The type doesn't match exactly throughout. And remember, only 2 typefaces would be allowed. They didn't really think about that. So this is a good project, but there's some problems with it. Here's another project that I would say is good. It has good graphics, got the good bullet points. The only thing is there's a lot of text here. One thing that we know in 2018, 2019, people don't like to read a lot of text. They like to see bullet points. So while the layout's good, I would like to have seen bullet points for the type. This one, again, very nice layout. The 4-column layout with the, we would call this 1/4/1, because it's basically 1 column up here and then 4 columns and then 1 column over here. Actually, it's 2 columns. But the different scams that we had, bullet points, not a lot of type, nice graphics for the headlines, the nice graphic of the people, and here's the some more bullet information. So this was very well done. This one is nice. It was different because they actually took the information and really pared it down in terms of what it was, and it was kind of like a flow chart in terms of what you should do, and then also really call to action of call consumer affairs in Gloucester County. So I like this one. The only thing is they didn't put icons in these 3 areas, which I thought was a little strange. This one was a little bit, is okay. It's got the bullet points. We were allowed to do color in this project, and this student did all black and white. I would also like to have seen better quality graphics for these. Stick figures don't really cut it, so I would have liked to see better quality. But in terms of layouts, I think it was okay. But just be careful when you're, make sure things are lined up and all that good stuff. This is another good one, and I'm just going to turn off my guides here so we can see it a little bit better. Again, the nice format layout, the 4-column layout. The only problem is that they're not all equal size. This one's larger, so I would like to have seen equal sized ones. Notice that they're using a nice contrast, good bold typefaces, all consistent typefaces. I don't like this, word art crappy type of phone number. It's hard to read. All right. I would like to see a little bit higher quality graphics as well. This one, they did a second one in pink. I just didn't like that at all. The pink did not work well. This is another great one, and again, it's we've got a big box here on the 4 columns and another big box. This is definitely an A project. This one, I did like this one. Again, they were using kind of these arc areas, and then notice the color changes, it gradiates down, so there's a dark, medium, and lighter color of all the 4 colors. Type is big and bold, bulleted, very nice, big, how to get in touch with the customer. They also did this one, which I thought was good. This again would be a strong A project. I'm not going to show that one. And then this one, this is actually the one that was selected as the winning project from last year. They liked how it was, in the squares with the graphics next to it, in the squares, and then big area in here, and then the more scams here. So this was the winning one from last year. So if you have any questions on the project for CGA 215 Project 1, the information graphic, please email me, text me, or speak to me before or after class. So that's the end of this video. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, or talk to me after class or before class, or come to my office hours. And I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you might have.